Hey guys, and welcome back to Going Within with Sheena and Jen. And we have a very special guest here with us today, Miss Crystal Evans. And she has some very interesting stories to tell the world. And we are so excited to have her here with us today. She is the epitome of going within, finding yourself and soul searching. And so, without any further ado, Crystal, the floor is yours.
Yay. Hello, everybody, and thanks for having me on Going Within. My name is Crystal, and I'm from God, born in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to talk about my book, Journey, My Story, God's Glory. And it talks about me from age 12 to 24 and what I had to do to survive and what I went through in my life after my mother's death. And after that, I'll follow up with my business on how I became a business owner and how I changed my life. So you can start.
Sorry, Crystal. I just want to clarify that for the listeners. What's the name of your book? What's it called?
Journey, My Story, okay. God's Glory. And okay. I will be I guess they can go to Going Within and I'll give you guys a link to it soon.
Okay. And then so that people can read it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Awesome. I did read it and Jen did as well. I didn't finish it. But I did read, I would say, the parts that were juicy.
The whole thing is juicy, Sheena.
Yeah, I know. That's true. That is true. The whole thing is juicy because everything I've read so far is juicy. But okay, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to steal the
No, I mean you could go ahead and ask questions, or did you guys want me to just talk about it?
Yes. Okay. I have a question. Okay, so to start off, tell us what motivated you or what inspired you to want to write that book, your story?
I did not want to write that book.
You didn't want to write it. Okay.
Did not want to tell my story, did not want to remember anything that happened. I just wanted to bury it and act like it never happened. And I was homeless in my vehicle. And my uncle said, "Why are you homeless in a vehicle?" And I said, because I don't want to stay with the man that said I could sleep on his couch but wanted me in his bed. So I'm going to sleep in his car. And he's like, well, come on. And I said, nah, God didn't tell me to do that. I hung up and blocked him. And I cried in my car and I'm like, Lord, I'm broken. Like, I never felt like this before. Is nothing that I could do when I need you. So I need you to give me a place. I cannot be out here in this car falling asleep at red lights, not knowing if I'm gonna make it because somebody could walk up, shoot me, take my car, put me in the trunk. It was a lot going on in Detroit. I was living in the city of Detroit.
Okay.
And so in that car, I was just crying and crying, and I heard the Lord tell me to write a book. And I was like, yeah, all right, well, whatever. And I mean, not saying it like disrespectful, but that's how it was when he was saying it. I'm like, yeah, so what I'm saying is I need a place. Like, I ain't trying to write no book. I'm like, I can't hear you. I don't know what you're saying, but listen to me. I'm crying to you now, and I need your help with housing. But it was already taken care of. I just didn't know it yet. He blessed me with housing, free rents for 15 or 16 months. When the place told me that they can only help me with a security and first month deposit, they went on and paid every month into 15 or 16 months. So I went to CNA school, and then I registered for community college. I had swimming, singing, acting. I was just going to school, and this lady walked up to me and she was like, God told you to do something, not what you're doing. You're being disobedient and you need to do what he told you. I'm like, first off, like, hold on, this lady don't even like, hold on, God, don't be telling my business. Like, but
I was wondering, how do you know that? Like,
it's supernatural. A lot of supernatural stuff happens. So I didn't question it.
Oh, okay. So because sometimes it can catch you off guard, like, wait.
I was just mad because I'm like, this is my business, not yours.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in this car, I was so hurt. Like I feel like somebody ran over my big toe or something. Like I was mad and hurt. Like you know
Yeah.
how the pain that would cause.
Yes.
I was in pain, and the Lord, He granted my housing situation, but He said right, and I said no, I'm good. And he was
Yeah.
like, no, right. And he was like, I'm gonna give you double for your pain and triple for your shame. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to write, but I was a writer since I was a child. I used to write poems, I used to write songs, all of that. So it wasn't nothing for me to write. I just didn't want to talk about the bad stuff. I didn't want to remember it.
Right.
So when I told him no, I heard my mom's voice. I brought you in this world and I could take you out. I said, well, if she could do it, he could definitely do it. I'm all right. That's when I decided this is what I need to do.
Right.
And
Mhm.
so yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, man, you have a very very touching story as far as the situations that you were in. When I was reading, I shed a few tears, especially after the incident with your mom, um, not being here anymore. How you took it, and you were so young.
Yeah.
I could only imagine as a child, going through that. Oh my goodness.
It broke the hearts of many seeing my
Bro.
reaction. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, y'all not about to put me up at the
Yeah.
front of this casket. And they like, come on, it's your mom. And I just lost it.
Oh.
I screamed and hollered and kicked and I ran up out of there. And they like, go calm her down. And my little sister was in there trying to hug me. I remember seeing her there. And they was just a lot of people was hugging me, but I seen my sister and I blanked out. And it's like my spirit was out of my body, but my body was there being comforted. But I was back there, like trying to figure it all out. Like, why did nobody warn me, prepare me? Like, it's bringing a tear to my
I
eye.
know.
But yeah,
Yeah. And that would be for anyone, any child, who's going through something like that will always have will always have um, you know, a tough time dealing with that pain. It's traumatizing.
because I
You
was
know,
12 years old. Yeah.
12 years old. Yeah, you don't understand yet, You're like, what's going on? You're confused, So I can only imagine because I don't. Whew. But
But I hated her. And I didn't want to remember her, think of her as my
your
mom.
mom,
Because I feel like she left me,
she
and
left.
I feel like she had a choice, and she chose to leave me. And
Mm-hmm.
I hated her and God because I feel like He let her leave me,
Yeah,
and she left me. But then, as I grew older, I knew it wasn't true because that woman would have killed and died for me. She
right.
would have got some rifles, AK-47s, man. She cried. Look, she ain't finna play about me.
Right. Her only little girl.
Yeah, only
Yeah.
child.
So, okay, so let's talk about what happened after your mom's death. What incidents unfolded after that?
My auntie ran downtown or wherever she ran, tried to get custody of me. But before she did that, she cleaned out both of our bank accounts, used the money for whatever. I don't even know. She wouldn't buy me a toothbrush or a pair of panties, so I don't know what she used the money for. And then she kept ordering stuff in my mama's name, computers, TVs, all kind of stuff kept coming to the house. And it kept upsetting me because I'm like, why is you doing this? And so I don't know. It hurt seeing that. And then she used to say to me, it's your fault that my sister died. She shouldn't have had you. They told her she couldn't have kids. She used to say that to me over and over and then tell me I wasn't going to be nothing. I would be like my father. She just used to always try to hurt me with her words
Yeah.
until I was silent because how my personality is now is how it was when I was younger. But living with her and her trying to beat me down, it just made me silent. It made me not feel like I was nothing. It made me feel like I was ugly. It just made me feel like I just wanted to die. So I tried to kill myself after that. And then she allowed her boyfriend to rape me and cover it up. And I tried to kill myself after that. I started going to counseling. It made it worse because it was like they were digging, like they wanted me to cry.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And
So,
one second, this is
yeah.
how I know that she know I was being molested and raped because one night I used to wake her kids up and tell them to stand behind the door. He finna come in here. I want y'all to see him. I'm not lying. And they stood up behind the door, so they know they seen it. And the mother seen it because I seen her. The bed was like right here, the door right there, and I could see her peeking to see what was he coming in there to do. So when I seen her, I know that she knew, but she didn't stop it. She just probably stayed there for a minute and went back to cry, gather herself together if she did cry. And,
Yeah. So they failed you tremendously with protecting you, especially after your mom passed, you know. They were supposed to be the family that was there to protect you because your mom was no longer there, you know. And where was your father at the time when your mom died?
he was in and out of my life. I seen him maybe like 6 or 7 times by that time. When he did come, he used to steal stuff from us. He stole my bike, he stole my clothes, and my mama was telling me, "Well, your daddy, he stole it when he came." So she ain't lie. She told me the truth.
Yeah.
And so it made me not like him, want a relationship with him because I'm like, I'm in the car with him one time. I don't know why she let me go with him or what was going on. I think she gave me to his sister who wasn't on drugs. And she was like, oh, she can go pick up her sisters with you or whatever. But this man in the car sniffing drugs, all type of stuff while I'm looking at him. So I'm just like, it made me not be able to watch New Jack City, Crooklyn, none of that because I would throw up at watching people do drugs.
Wow.
And people were like, what's wrong with her? She can't watch a movie. But no, it made me sick to my stomach because I'm like,
Yeah.
and it made me hate crackheads because I'm like, how could you not love yourself? And that's what I used to say to them as a child. How could you not love yourself? I'm like, what?
Wow, a child. Yeah.
Yeah, because I used to see the effects of it. They would do it right there, and then they would stand up doing all this, or just standing up, sleeping, all type of craziness, or looking for something that wasn't there. So I'm a child, and I'm staring at this up close and personal, and I'm seeing their kids getting scared. So I'm like, why would you do this in your child right there? I had a lot of questions, and they were like, okay, well, we don't have to answer to you. You're a child.
Right.
But I did ask a lot of questions.
Crystal, your story is really crazy. So, all right. So all this is happening, you know, you're living with your aunt, right?
Mhm.
At that point in time. Right. So I was reading you were living with your aunt and they had no kind of protection for you.
They
You was
there
just
because everybody was like, I was 12. My aunt might have been, let me see, if I was 12, she was probably 22. So she was
hmm,
still fresh out of her teenage years. She had like 7 kids. I was taking care of the kids because after I reported it, she had to leave the household. Well, he had to leave the household and she wanted to follow him. So
mhm.
she did and left us in the house. It was fake money in the safe. It was drugs in the safe. So if it wasn't food, we sold the drugs or we spent the fake money at the store,
So
which
when you
led
say we, it was like,
her kids, me and
oh,
her youngest, I mean, her oldest daughter was only like 3 or 4 years younger than me. But then the other ones, they trickled down like every 2 years, it was another kid. And the youngest child was one, I believe, that she left me with, or a little bit under one. So I was cooking, I was cleaning, I was helping with homework, I was bringing them to school. I failed because I couldn't go to school and leave the kids. I mean, I could have, but I wouldn't. So I
you were
failed.
basically their mom.
Yeah, I failed then, and then I failed my first year in high school because I couldn't go to school because I had to take her kids and still do that or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I had to do homeschool. Well, me and my first husband, he helps me with my online schooling or whatever so I could pass, and then we went to college together.
Oh,
But yeah, but in high school, I used to just go to try to get away from them, but sometimes I didn't go. I just leave and just go downtown or do something because it was just too much.
Yeah.
Then she would like after I reported it to the cops and told them, "Oh, he's molesting me or he raping me." My uncles found out and it was gonna be over for him. But she was like, "No, no, she lying. She just fast. If he did something to her, it was because of her, not him. Cause he had a good job. He was a good man. He didn't have no kids, and she wanted to keep him. So it was like me or him, and she picked him.
Right.
But then she was like, I do need her to get the checks that she getting and to babysit.
Mm.
So let me go get her. Different family members pass me on, like, she ain't giving up no money. She got to go. And I'm going to different houses thinking I'm settling in. But I was in like 40 something houses before I was able to get my own. So after being raped and molested, I urinated on myself until probably like 17 or 18 years old anyway, on boyfriends, all type of stuff, because I couldn't hold it. And then I used to
Wow.
be and crying like, this is embarrassing, Lord, can you help me stop? Like, and then my auntie used to talk about me and call me names. But after I used it, I did get up and shower or whatever, but she still was so mean and hateful.
Mm-mm-mm.
It took me years to forgive her, but I still don't
Yes.
deal with
That's years of trauma.
it. Yeah.
That's you had a lot to heal from. And I know you're still going through it and still going through your healing process, and like a lot of us are. Um, but it's just so unfortunate sometimes that some of us go through more, than others as far as our childhood, especially, the childhood trauma is like packed on like layers of an onion, and then when you become an adult, you have to now peel those layers off and try to find who you really are, in the midst of all of that. And I
But
know.
I'm glad that I knew God, because if I didn't,
Yes.
I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have made it nowhere.
Right.
It's like I looked at everything from a different perspective because I loved and knew God, and I had a relationship with God since I was like 4 or 5. When they used to
Mhm.
always take me to church, my family had churches. So my great aunt, she had her own church, and everybody was doing ministry. Not us, but the people that was under her or whatever, that was family. So we knew church and how to go and listen. And I was going for the music because I was a baby, but the word was being poured into me and I didn't know, because I was able to quote stuff and I'm like, how I know that? Oh, but it was because I was sitting under it. So it got in me.
Yeah.
And I used to like say, God, if you real, make the light blink 4 times and stuff like that as a kid. But he used to do it. So I used to be like, okay, okay, one more time. Like I used to just because it said test the spirit by the spirit. And as a child, that's what I did. So it helped me
Right.
to build my relationship just by doing what people would say stupid stuff, just to
Right.
see, like he showed up every time. And then
Yeah.
other time he showed up, it was like my 21st birthday. It was storming black in Detroit. And I was like crying and hurting. I'm like, it's always a bad birthday for me. Can I get 2 hours of sunshine? And I'm crying. That rain and the clouds dry. Oh, baby. Like,
Yes, that's good.
I
That's
was
good.
happy. I
So
was
that
like,
means you
okay.
had like a little bit of sunshine, in the midst of the storm. You had a little bit of sunshine, and God was just showing you that I am here. I am
He
with
never
you.
left me. He said,
Never
I
let
will never
you.
leave or forsake you. And he didn't.
Right, right. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's
He
beautiful.
always provided. Like I never had to work for real. I probably had 5 jobs, and I never stayed at a job for more than a couple of
Hmm.
weeks. And he always provided, even after I had my own places and stuff like that. So it's
Right.
like then people to be my family, and he removed family that wasn't for me.
Hmm.
So he started to place people around me to help cultivate me and make me into the woman that he wanted me to be.
Yep.
So it didn't start like that though. It was a process. And he gave me the name of the book, Journey. He showed me how to put it how he wanted, because I did it my own way. And he's like, nope. Had to throw
Right.
that boy and start over.
Hmm.
I'm like,
Yep.
nope, I
Yeah.
did it. No, I did it.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful name for a book, Journey. I like that because, a lot of the times we're so fixated on, oh, I can't wait till I get there. I can't wait till I get to this part of my life where it's good. But it's the journey, the process of getting there. It's the beautiful part. That's when you're forced to go within, right?
And
You're
I
forced to
believe
search.
too
Mm-hmm.
that he wanted me to focus on healing this whole time. So that's why I didn't have to work. That's why he just gave me stuff. That's why everything was given to me. So some people are I'm not saying other people not his favorite and he don't, do stuff for them, but
Right,
he
right, right,
show up for me for real.
right.
I
Well,
was even
especially when you acknowledge,
yeah.
him, and you have faith in him, then of course he's going to
And he
show.
can never put more on you than you could bear. And he know when it
Mm-hmm.
got rough and tough.
Yep.
And I was walking around with them bags. He was like,
Right.
I got everything else, daughter. You worry about healing. You heal your mind. You heal your
Yes.
body. You stay here with me. Don't leave. Because
Right.
after being raped and molested, it's like I didn't believe that I could say no to men or boys no more. When I said no, it's like they did it anyway. And so I was just lay there crying up under somebody, like again. I
Oh
trusted
my
this
gosh.
just on top of me again. Like I just wanted to go to the movies. I just wanted a hug. I just wanted to feel love. And they screwing me. And this ain't what I wanted. And I
Right.
said I didn't want this. They knew I didn't want it. But since
Mm-hmm.
I'm so nice, they just screwing me anyway.
Right.
So that's how in my teenage years I had, sex partners because
Mm-hmm.
it's like it was taking advantage of me.
Right.
And then it's like I started crying so much, like, God, could you just like help me or heal me or whatever? And then it's like I think I fell away from God or I left him for a minute because I'm like, these dudes going crazy over this. And I'm like, okay, well, let me make them crazy then. I tried to get control over it by learning my body and knowing how to do stuff to make them crazy because
Mm-hmm.
that's all they wanted anyway. So
Yeah. So you
I
were
started
just.
acting like as a power over them. And then I
Mm-hmm.
started to like it. And then I became addicted. And I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
stop. But it wasn't
Yeah.
like, oh, let me just do it to everybody. It was just
Right.
one person. But I still couldn't stop. I did it from sun up to sundown. If we weren't working, we was younger, so we wasn't working. So we ain't had nothing to do. I'm like, let's
Right.
just screw all day. Let's screw all day long. And he was doing it. so so I got tired of feeling like that. And I'm like, I'm putting this over you, God, and I don't want it. I'm like, it feel good. And oh, do I like? I ain't gonna even say all what I was gonna say, but I'm like, just take it
Jen, do you
away.
have any questions for Crystal about her story so far? I know it's a crazy story. She's
No,
been through it.
I just want to say that I think it's absolutely incredible and just so touching that you never lost yourself with God.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was there with you every step of the way and you never let go of everything that you've ever happened to you in your life. Like that's some serious shit. Like I almost started crying. Like I just like I almost started going like panic mode because I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, this poor girl. She lost her mom and this and this and this. But you never lost sight of God or who you just like clinged on to him with all your might. And I
Oh,
just
I
think
hate
it's absolutely incredible. What a testimony. I mean, seriously, incredible. Seriously, like in my mind, like I'm an empath, and so I feel people's energy. Like I
Mm-hmm.
immediately, when this started, I immediately went in like panic mode. I had a panic
Yeah.
attack, breathing heavily, and I kept thinking, "All right, Lord, she is under some serious stress, like anxiety, or like something is happening here." And then the more she was talking, and the more you were talking, the more I was just like, "This poor," I just I couldn't even. It makes my shit small.
Mm-hmm.
It really, really does.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like
That's how I feel too.
like but you never lost sight
Mm-hmm.
of God.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I mean, if you
Mm-hmm.
think about all the shit that woman that she went through,
Right.
drugs. I mean, her mom died,
Mm-hmm.
her aunt wasn't taking care of her, wasn't protecting her. What
Wasn't
the fuck?
protecting
Why
her.
are you not protecting this child?
Right.
Mm.
I try to look at things from her point of view though. Like if she had started having kids at 15 and got married by 16, 17, and then he went to jail and left her with
Mhm.
kids and she just wanted somebody. So she didn't, I was just trying to figure out what could be in her mind to say, to make her say that it was okay. Like
Yeah.
I never talked to her about it. And I don't think she ever wanted to talk about it. She just used to make me go to the police station and lie to them and say it didn't happen. And then if her and him got into it, she brought me back to the police station to tell them what happened. And then it was like she was trying to be manipulative and hold it over his head and have control over him or the situation as well. And so it was just
So
like,
how is your relationship now with men?
I don't, it's like everything that happened to me never did happen. So I don't like, well, I'm a fighter now.
Uh-huh.
So that's why I'm laughing.
You what?
But
What you say?
I said I'm a fighter now, so
Oh
that's
yeah.
why I'm laughing.
Yeah,
But
yes you are.
I'm only a fighter when I'm provoked. But I mean, I don't hold that over nobody else head for something that somebody else did to me. I just
Yeah.
like go on with life.
So okay, so
Hmm.
this is getting juicy now. So okay, so after all these things happened to you, right?
Mhm.
What was the point? There was a point where you had to start your healing process, right?
I didn't heal until my second marriage. This whole
Mm,
time, I just buried it and left it alone. Like, all right, fuck them. I'm just gonna leave them in the dust, and I don't ever got to see them again. If they say blood thicker than water, but if they hurting me, I can't be there. So,
absolutely. It doesn't matter if it's blood or not. If they're negative influence on you, they're not adding to your growth. They are, bringing you down, all these things. You don't need
it's
to
not
worry about it.
all of them though. It was just
Hmm.
the women
The
in the
ones
family.
that are,
It was
or that
my
were.
it was my grandmother because she was chasing the man. It
Hmm.
was my auntie because she was chasing the man. And the men in my family, I was close to them, but they was following a women who was like, and even though they women was married in the family or whatever, it
Hmm.
still seemed like that it wasn't, married in the family. They been with their mates since they was kids. So they grew up together and then had kids. So it wasn't like some stranger. They always been around since I was alive, before I was alive. So it
Mhm.
was like when I was growing up, just like that's my uncle, his girl still my auntie. Like it wasn't even before they was married because they was still there. So it was like everybody worried about their immediate little circle of their family inside the family because I had a huge family, but nobody just had the time for me. And I
Right.
did good with the pastor for a minute or whatever, but it's like people husbands, they be like, okay, so when she leaving and stuff like that, it was always that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It can
So
get like that
I
sometimes.
ended up moving and living with guys that took care of me and just wanted to be around or stuff like that. At first, it was like different strangers that would take me in, and they treated me better than my family.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
Right. So, okay, so Crystal, man, you've been through a lot. Okay, so after, I know in the book, after I think you left your aunt's house and then you were in the custody of like DCS
mm,
or Child Protective Services, and you were in were you like going from like foster home to foster home? Okay. You
it
were just
was just family members' house. And after
okay.
that, I got married and emancipated.
Okay.
I got married to get emancipated. Like we
How old were
wasn't
you when
I
you
was
got married?
17, turning 18.
Oh
And it was
wow.
like 2 weeks before my 18th birthday. I talked to him and I was like, hey, I gotta get out of here. And he was like, all right, love, we could get married. He didn't have no parents. I didn't have no parents. We didn't have no guidance, but we both love the Lord. He
Yeah.
helped me to not be a hoe.
Mm-hmm.
He told me to cross my legs, wear your skirts and your dresses under your knees. And we did ministry together. We both
Mm-hmm.
became youth ministers. He started like co-pastoring. He used to play the piano. I used to sing in the choir and do praise dancing. So it didn't start out like that because I used to whoop him.
Oh my God.
I was mean at first, and
Right.
it took
Well, you had a
him,
lot of anger built up inside of you.
and I didn't know how to love. I didn't know how to
Mm-hmm.
be a wife and all that. But the churches that we went to, they helped us because we was 18. He became 19, and 4 months after I became 18 or whatever. So I
Yeah.
mean, he was a good guy, but I messed him up because I wasn't ready for nobody like him. So since his daddy was on drugs, his mama was on drugs, she left him with the daddy. He was abandoned. He lived in abandoned basements with bugs and all kind of stuff and didn't have food. So it's like when we met, it's like we helped each other or whatever. And he
Yeah.
fell in love with me. He was a virgin. I took his virginity. We was married, but I didn't know he was in love with me. I was just thinking like, oh, okay, well, this is a get out of jail free card.
Yeah. You didn't understand what being in
Yeah.
love was.
And when he told me he loved me, I moved back home like, oh, I got to be with my husband because, God honors marriage. So I left my boyfriend and I was with my husband.
Mm.
But then his girlfriend popped back up and I was finna blur. I burned the kitchen down and the police came to get me. And my grandma came to get me because I wasn't listening to the police. I told them I'm not leaving because this is my house too. It's my husband. And I had on my little sheet like a toga and they was just looking like, well, we can't get her out of here. My grandma was like, I gotta go to work. You gonna come? I said, nobody tell you to come over here. You shouldn't have didn't listen to them then because I ain't going with you.
Oh my
He
God.
gonna have that girl over here. No, had me come back from Detroit. Okay,
Right. You were just fighting for your life. That's all you were doing.
and
You know?
fighting for theirs too.
Yeah. And whatever you felt was right in that moment.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, my mama was Rocky. No, I'm just playing.
So, okay, so now let's fast forward to uh present day or like the last 5 years or so. How how would you say is how did your life did it change? Do you feel like your life got better? Um I don't know if I'm asking it the right way. I had it in my brain, but do you feel like you're in a better place now, basically, like
The last 5 years.
mentally, spiritually?
Well, I want to go back to 7 years
Okay.
because I want to go back to before I had a kid.
Okay.
Before I had a kid, I was basically getting my life in order and together. I had got my own place because I was living in dorms and with people still. And then, yeah, I got my own place. Oh, no. Remember when I was telling you that God paid my rent for 15 months or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
I was straight. So after this, while he telling me to do this book, I met my second husband.
Okay.
And when I met him, he chased me through the hallways of the college and I was running. He was a big guy, but he was on my tail. So I'm like, God said you're my wife. I said, he ain't tell me that. He ain't
Wait,
tell me that. He chased me through the hallway.
what? He was
Yeah.
chasing you through the college, talking about you're
Yeah.
his wife?
Yep. And then I'm like, well, I do want a baby. Okay. And so, because I went to this church and this women conference, and the lady was like, I was like, I want a baby, how my mama was. And
Yeah.
then this man, Papa was talking about some get married, and the lady said I had to be married to have a baby. So I'm like, all right, we could do it. After
You were
if
just like,
that's what
let's
I
do
need to get popped off, come on, what we
it.
doing?
Well,
And
at
so,
least you got married, yeah.
and that nigga was gay. So,
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. Wow.
and he could have said, I mean, he could have said,
Wait, how long were y'all married for before you found that out?
God showed me immediately what was going on
Uh,
because I had visions of him doing the act, like I was watching porn. I could be sitting there talking to him and the screen will come up, big screen TV, not a little one. And I just get seeing stuff. And I'm looking at it while he talking to me, like,
Oh.
what it come from and why am I seeing it? It's not nice. I don't want to see this. Like, and it happened for like all the time. So I'm like, okay, is someone want to tell me? And he was like, no. I'm like, okay, how do I say something about this without making him feel like less of a man, fighting this nigga? Or I'm sorry for saying that, but you
That's
know,
right.
just like, how do I go about this? And I'm like, God, what's this? Like, is you showing me something, or is this me? Like, just seeing something that, like, why? How am I doing this? Because a lot of supernatural stuff happens. So I'm just like, okay. I'm like, yeah. So, you ever was with a dude or whatever? And he was like, anything that happened before you, I don't gotta talk to you about it. And I said, well, we ain't gonna be married then, because we ain't gonna do that.
Right.
I was told you everything. And so we at church one day and they was like, all the hidden things needs to be revealed. And my pastor got to going in, we standing there crying. He was like, you got to, and he was like, and you gotta forgive for real. You can't say you forgive and you don't really forgive. And I'm like, I forgive them. I'm finna call them right there at the church. I'm calling us and this man. And I'm like, well, I ain't gotta go that far. Lord. And so I'm like, okay, that's when I really forgave then in that service, like when I was with that man. And then he got home and he was like crying and stuff. And I'm like, you good? And he was like, I'm sorry, I was hiding this from you, but I was raped at 6. And when I was raped, it was an older boy that was a child had hit me in the head, and I fell out in the basement and woke up different. And he was like, I started to like being penetrated. And I was like, oh, okay. And I used to hate gay people. But when he told me that, I accepted what he said. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I was a dancer and people licked on me and all that stuff. So we good. Everybody got a pass.
Right.
We both slept with the same
Okay,
sex.
so my question to that is like, okay, so you didn't know he was gay before he was chasing you down the hallway in the college?
But his mama didn't want him to be gay. He wanted to love the Lord and live for the Lord because he wanted to be a man of God and he wanted to be pleasing to his family that
you were
didn't
probably like a cover up.
Yeah. Right. But he could have told me I was covering up.
Right.
That was gonna leave me in the dark. But he just wanted a baby. He wanted a family.
Oh.
And he could have said, be my friend, have my baby, and I'm finna be with this dude. But you know what I'm saying? We ain't have to get married. Right. None of that. And then I end up pregnant and the baby was in the toilet. I seen it and I'm sorry. But I lost it. Cause I'm like, it's cause your ass gay. And my mom and I'm sorry, I'm just so like this or whatever because of the words I use. But that's what I said. And I'm like, it's your fault because God did not allow me to keep it or whatever because you're not being right. I'm being right. I'm like, I beat the other husband up. I'm letting you be the man. So you want to be the girl. So like, what the fuck? And I'm like,
you beat the other husband up.
I did because I didn't know I wasn't supposed to.
You're right. You didn't know better. I'm just pissed though.
I apologize after I fucked him up mentally, physically, all type of shit. Oh, and yeah. I apologize. God let me see what I did. And I cried for almost like 3-4 months. Every time he called me and talked to me, I was crying and apologizing. And he was like, you said that already. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I did not know. I'm like, I really did not know what I was doing. And he was like, okay. But he never wanted to see me again. He been in California. He don't want to FaceTime. He'll message me and give me a word of God or something. He ain't trying to ever see me. Because I used to be like, can I come visit? Or maybe he like, yeah, with you.
He's like, hell no, stay away.
But I believe he would have got back with me if he would have seen me because I was his first love, his first wife, I took his virginity, all that. And he ain't want that because he wanted to be Milo without me, I guess. But I was like, you my best friend. You like my cousin or something. He was like, no, I'm not. I'm like, but you are to me though. And he's like, no, not.
I was like, little girl, get out my face.
You're my best friend.
Oh my gosh.
I'm your ex-husband. We don't really talk like that. Want me to be your best friend?
Do you talk to him now? Are you guys still in contact?
He messaged me like maybe like 6 months ago, and he was talking he had a bad dream about me and just to pray and to cover myself, and if there's people around me doing certain stuff to like just go. So he just be like being like he always been my spiritual guide. He always prayed for me and covered me, and so that's probably what he just do even though I'm not around.
Right. Which
So when we divorced, I did the divorce and wanted it, but when we did it, I feel like somebody, like a bulldozer, hit me in my stomach. I could not breathe. Snot was everywhere. Yeah, I took it bad and hard or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it had an effect on you physically. Yep.
Cause I'm like, in my man, the only thing I could think is, dang, he my covering. He the person that prayed for me. He the person that God showed stuff about me. And I walked away from it. And this pastor told me, whatever y'all do, do not divorce. Y'all already at 7 years of marriage. Don't divorce. Y'all been through everything. Y'all know each other now. Everything gonna be smooth. And I was like, that nigga, he cheated on me. We cheated on each other. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Why I'm worried about the last man, folks? Like, what? And so
That
I
was
was like,
toxic.
I'm not forgiving him. He was with that girl and gonna lie. And I'm with a nigga that got guns finna kill us both. I was like, yeah. Hey, maybe we should go move from this place because he's kind of crazy. He got guns and stuff. He was like, oh, I'm gonna go to California. And I left. It was crazy. Oh, Jen, I'm making you laugh over there.
I'm thinking, I'm like picturing all this in my mind. I'm like, that girl is chasing him down.
Sorry, I had to
take
Jeremiah right quick. Yeah, Crystal is she's one of a kind. She's been through a lot, and it shows in her personality, you know. It's like she's very bubbly, she's very bold, outspoken, you know, fearless. But those are the things that make her who she is, make you who you are, you know. And this is what this podcast is about, because you know, we all go through things. We all have been through things, especially as a child, and we have trauma that we have to face and heal from. And those things will always be a part of us, you know. All what you've been through, Crystal, all the shame and the guilt and the abuse, you know, it becomes part of who you are. It becomes your shadow, right? And then so that part of you is your dark self, but you are the definition of someone who has accepted that. You've accepted those things about this is how we should all be. We accept our past, what happened in the past to us. It will always be a part of us, but we don't let it
kill us.
We don't let it make us bitter people, right? When you do your healing work, you become less of a bitter person. You become more empathetic because someone else who's going through what you've been through in the past, you can now help them, and you're more empathetic towards them because you're like, I know exactly how you feel right now.
I don't want nobody to hurt because I once hurt.
Right.
And want nobody to feel lost in no kind of way or be without. So if they got something that they need, I'll give my last to give it to them so they won't have to feel without. So yeah, I'm what you call it, empathic too?
Empathetic, yep. Empathetic.
And I have empathy.
Yeah, you have empathy because, you know, and that's good. And that's what makes you beautiful. That's what makes us as humans beautiful. The things that we've been through, and we overcome them, and then we heal from them, and we learn from them, from the experience. And now we are able to help other people because we've been through that. And it makes you who you are. You know, you begin to learn yourself. You begin to learn about yourself, who you are on the inside, because it kind of forces you to go within yourself and soul search, and be like, why am I getting triggered by this thing? And then when you reflect, right, in retrospect, and you're like, you know, oh, okay. So every time I see this man, his personality, sometimes it's just the personality that reminds me of so and so who abused me back in the day, right? And then you associate that with them, and then you're mean to them, you lash out at them, and but it's really just your trauma. You're getting triggered by that person, and it's causing you to give a response, right? So with you, I can
think
tell.
I never did that with other people though.
What?
Like when I act out,
Mm-hmm.
if I do it, like I was telling you the other day,
Mm-hmm.
like the person that I was talking about,
Mm-hmm.
I did do that, but it was only because first he showed me other stuff. So he did do stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
so that made me be like, okay, now I gotta watch you because you sneaky. And
Mm-hmm.
so like if he doing something and I'm like, okay, now sometimes it don't have to be what I seen him doing, but now I'm thinking he always doing what he did because he did it before. And
Right.
so other people in the past, they did it before. So that's when I could do it like that. But you got to show me something first. I'm just not gonna be looking at you and you then show me something. I'm like, they just like them. If you
True.
break my trust, then I'm like, okay, so now you the same person.
Right. So you give them like the benefit of the doubt, and then they have to prove otherwise. Like, okay, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. Oh, but now you just showed me your true colors. So now, no, I'm just not assuming this is who you actually
Right.
are.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's how it ain't off the back. So I didn't want you to think that when I was saying it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
No. I get where you're coming from. But yeah, so that's why I really wanted you to come on the podcast, because your story is, man, a lot of people can relate. You've been through way more than I've been through, and your story, it inspires me because I'm like, you're so strong, and
I'm hearing that song, Donnie McClurkin, Get Back Up Again.
get back
Because
up again.
every time something knocked me down, it was
Right.
like
Get back
opposition
up again.
came and
Yeah.
it hit. It ain't just like
Yeah,
push.
yeah.
It hit me. Like it could have killed me, stopped me in my tracks. But
Right.
then after crying, grieving, or sometimes just burying it and just forgetting it, I was able to move past, get on something else, just get to doing something. And I
Right.
always did something to better me.
Okay. I was just about to ask, like, okay, so with as far as your trauma goes and your healing journey, what advice do you have for the people who are listening?
No, God, keep them with you, not in your back, but in before you, behind you, beside you, in you.
Yeah.
You gotta know God, because you can't get
Yeah.
through nothing without him.
Right. Right. That's true. That's true. And for the people who have different ways of knowing God, because everybody ain't Christian, but
And they call God different stuff. So I mean, I ain't
right,
that.
right.
No,
But
I
you
mean,
mean like, okay, for
be
the
right,
broad
live
range,
right. Like
right,
the
live
Bible say,
right,
love your neighbor as yourself. It's 2 commandments that he said in the last testament. You love your neighbor as yourself and you love him with your whole heart. So if you doing that, you're not gonna try to kill nobody, you're not gonna hit them on the head, you're not
right.
gonna try to, get them in no kind of way, rob, steal, none of that. And
Yeah.
because you wouldn't do it to yourself. And then you
Mhm.
finna love him, so you're not gonna sin against him. So after
Right,
you doing both of those, it's just like you can't. I mean, people slip and they do wrong, but you're not gonna plan the wrong to do it.
right, exactly. You're not gonna practice being,
Like, oh, let me do this
unrighteous.
wrong. Let me do this wrong.
Right. So know God and know yourself, and practice
And when
healing
you
from.
know yourself
Mhm.
and you know it's not like good in you, because there's no good thing in our flesh. So
Mhm.
if you know yourself and you know it's not good in you, you got to be in his face. You got to be in the word. You got to be like speaking life into you, because it's
Mhm.
power of the
Truth.
tongue, life and death. So you got to edify yourself with, I am a child of God. I am a king. I am a queen. I am more
Positive
than a conqueror.
positive
Yes,
affirmations.
yes.
Yeah.
And you got to love you and love you how God loves you, not just say you love you.
Right.
Don't let sin kills you. So it's like too much of nothing, like food. That kills you. Like it's like it's bad and you just want more of it, and it's killing you when you could just say, okay, well, this bad, even though it tastes good or it feel good, but I want you, God. I've been so blessed by God that, like I said, I did not have to work. I didn't have to buy I had to buy my food, but he just always provided my food, my shelter, my cars. People was buying me cars. People gave me credit cards on their account with their name on it. Like checks came in my mailbox with my name on it for thousands of dollars that I ain't know where it came from. But every time I needed something, I got it.
Right.
Even if he sent a bird to bring it
you still, even in spite of everything that you've been going through, you still have favor over your life.
And he told me he was gonna make me rich and add no sorrow. If I told my story, he said, don't leave nothing out. If it shames you, okay, I seen it. I'm the one that matters. So that's why,
That is so good.
I told him at his word. He not lying to me.
That is so good, Crystal, because as a Reiki practitioner, a lot of people or like clients that I may have present in the past, their energy centers are blocked.
Wow.
Some people, the entire thing is blocked. Some people, it's just, one or two. In women, it's usually the solar plexus and the sacral, because, in our womb area, in our uterus, and, we hold a lot of
energy,
shame and people. Guilt. Yes, and emotions there. So by not releasing it or having a way, a source, what's the word I'm looking for? If you don't have a way to basically disperse that energy or release it or, ground it back into the earth, it will latch on, right? And it can literally kill you because
it'll become a cancer.
Like a literal cancer. Then you go to the doctor.
The auntie that's doing me wrong, auntie that's doing me wrong, she's still doing me wrong. But the auntie that's doing me wrong, her health is failing. Her kids call me and tell me all the time stuff that's happening with her and to her. And it's because it's no good thing in her. But if she change and repent and take a hold of the Lord, he can reverse it.
Yeah.
But that's not what you want. So
right. And that's the thing too. I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. I don't know if it was you, Jen, but people who are hurt, right? There's people who hurt from whatever it is happened to them. And sometimes we tend to like bash them and be like, you're just a terrible person. You are just, I do not like you. But at the same time, if we really look at the bigger picture, which is something that we weren't taught to do, and we don't practice often, is to look at the bigger picture of things, is that we will realize that these people are acting on the way they do or being the way
did she ever get raped or something? I tried to put myself in her shoes to try to figure it out, like I said, because I don't hate her. I love my auntie. I don't trust her.
Right.
She will not be around us. That's all.
Right. Exactly.
That's giving her a chance to attack. That's like going in the alligator pond, like, look at those cute alligators.
Right. It's boundaries. You have to have boundaries with people like that, because you be like, sister girl, you need to heal from your trauma.
You see, Selena helped that lady and would have died for that lady, did anything for her. And that I always play in my mind. So I be like, I gotta watch who around me, because I ain't finna be Selena. And I've been saying that for a long time.
That's true. No, that's true. That's facts. Because you have to understand, it's not that you don't you throw hate at them, but it's like, okay, you have to have boundaries. First of all, you're going through your healing, you know what I'm saying, and they need to go through theirs. And unless they do, you're just like, hey, look, I understand that you've been through X, Y, and Z, but you need to do A, B, and C before we can be cool, because I'm trying to heal, and you're triggering me. You can't be around people who's causing you triggers when you're trying to heal, because they're adding to that, the tension, you know. They're tightening the rope. You need it to be loose so you can freely, you know, you have to give yourself that time, that isolation, and don't be around people who are going to contribute to that negative, aspect of your life. You don't need more. You have your own darkness,
And
to
some
deal
people
with.
would say make you vibrate low.
Right, make you vibrate low, exactly, and that can block your blessing in turn. It's a domino effect.
Because if you can't vibrate high out of love and peace, you can't get no blessings. You can't.
No.
You're gonna be at a place of lack.
Right.
So that's why, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you're doing really good. Watching you and your life and the things that you've been through, you're doing better than most.
So, and I want to ask you something. In the last 5 years that you've known me, because
Yeah.
you met me when Jeremiah was 1.
Yeah.
So, how do you think I progressed?
A lot. I think I want to say matured from when I first met you.
Because
You
I was working.
definitely.
That's all I was doing back then.
Oh yeah,
Working and smoking. Working and smoking.
You've matured spiritually a lot, and I am really proud of you, really, to see where you were and where you are now. You actually put in the work, and that's commendable, you know. Some people don't, and they rather project it on other people and say, it's everybody else's fault and not mine. No, you don't do that. You be like, I know I'm messed up, Sheena. I know I'm crazy in my head, or I know I'm, but you're trying, you put in the effort, you work at it every day, and you listen to me. I'm like, girl actually listens to me, which is cool because, at least I know I can be somewhat of a guidance for you, as you are to me, and yeah, you've came a long way. And from the time that I known I have seen a lot of progress, and it made me want to be more in Jeremiah's life too, and take him away from you sometimes to give you a break, so you can just have like your little woosah and your, you know and your you time, so you can, yeah, go within. you know just Jen, do you have anything to add? I feel like it's just been me and Crystal talking.
No, I'm just listening.
Jen is
No.
just like, oh my gosh, this girl.
Like she watching Lifetime.
I know, like she's watching a movie.
Mm.
But yeah. So I know Jen don't really know you much, but I know she read your book some, and you're probably, to Jen, you're probably like a little bit of a shock. I don't know if Jen ever met everybody like you. It's like, this girl is a lot, but
Nobody have met anybody like me.
I know. When I first met you, I was like, I ain't never met no girl like her. She dynamite, but in a good way, you know, in a good way.
But it could be a dynamite in a bad way too, though.
Yeah, it could, if you tip the scales to either or, but that's in all of us, we all have our dark and our light, it's just, we need to
It's
maintain that
just that
balance.
I'm just tired. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't deserve to be unhappy or treated badly by
Absolutely.
nobody, because I don't treat people like that.
Absolutely. And that's
So
for all of us.
when I
Me,
feel
you
like that,
mentioned.
I want to hit people. So I go to
Yeah.
counseling. So I won't.
The anger gets the best of you. And that's one thing I can relate with you on, is the anger, because I've had anger issues in the past. I have done a lot of work. I have done a lot of work on it. A lot of people know me as, sweet Sheena. And I mean, I am mostly rainbows and unicorns, but I have my times where, that dark shadow comes out, and, only select few people have seen it. But I have learned to transmute it like an alchemist into being something positive, as opposed to just roar, She-Hulk, I'm just want to smash everything. You know, when I get angry, I learned that I needed to control that and um conceal it into a way where I can use it more into a positive thing or transmute it or just feel the anger, but don't everybody else don't have to experience that with me. You know, I don't have to share that with anybody else. This is my anger. I got to deal with it, and I deal with it the way that's the most healthiest for me. And that's how
I
I
like
feel
to
better.
share it though, because it lets them know maybe I should think twice.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Sometimes you really do have to show that, you know, you ain't taking no shit.
Because
You know,
if you
you have to,
lollipops and gumdrops, they're gonna be like, yeah, let me trip her up real quick.
I can just step all
Yeah.
over you.
As
But you
soon
know,
as you trip
I
me
like
up and I get up, I'm gonna crack your head.
I'm you know, it's true. And I like when people underestimate me sometimes because it's like they underestimate me. They're like, oh, she's a sweetheart. She won't do nothing.
I'm
True.
just playing, y'all. I don't crack people head unless I'm, made to. No,
The dark side comes out like from the abyss of the shadows.
it was a dark and gloomy night.
Then I go back to, but you know, that's in all of us, you know. Ain't nobody perfect, ain't nobody have it all together. We're all just in this thing figuring it out, you know, going through life one day at a time, trying to figure this shit out because we don't know what the hell we're doing. We don't know what the hell's going on. Okay. None of us do. We just going
with the flow.
With the flow in our own lane, in our own path. You know, everybody have their own path. And yeah.
It's it's so funny to hear. I mean, it's not funny, but I mean, I can relate to the anger because I remember one time, actually, it's been a lot of times, but specifically when, in actually incident that this girl that was part of actually my cousin's girlfriend at the time, and I was always raised like nobody say anything about you. That's your name. Don't let nothing bad come out of that. You hold on to that. That belongs to you. And this bitch was just running her mouth. Just so what I did, I lived on a lake in Monticello, small town, like maybe 500 people. And my neighbor across the street was having a little, I don't even know, pamper shop, Mary Kay bullshit party. I don't know where it was. And I knew this girl was coming, right? And so I went out there. I had my red flame retardant robe on. It was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Had my cup of coffee and my cigarette. I was sitting out there in the front yard. I flipped my folding chair over and I sat in the middle of the yard, my front yard. And my aunt called me, because she lived down the street. She said, what are you doing? I said, I'm waiting for this girl to drive by. Some bitch, I'm gonna get her. My aunt goes, I'll be right there. And sure as shit, that girl drove right past me in her BMW. And I thought, game motherfucking on. And my aunt, I went over there. And I don't know, it was like a fire inside of me. I had to say something to her. I had to let her know that I just, whatever I thought of this person, and I wanted to just change the demeanor of a room immediately when I walked in. I wanted her to feel so uncomfortable that I actually changed out of my robe, went across the street to the party, and I tackled that thing that I wanted to do. And my aunt came over to my house and she goes, Jen, you better slow your ass down. You're getting too damn old for this shit. You cannot be chasing these women, these people down. I'm gonna beat people's ass. And I'm just like, I ain't doing it. I'm not, yeah, I might be 5'2" and 100-something pounds.
But you're a dynamite.
But I'll tell you, I'm not gonna deal with it. And I've been working at it. And I even like my Kara is a firecracker. Boy, oh boy, she firecracker. Like she will be like, she will go out in a second. And I just had to give her the same
Same
thing
talk.
that my aunt said to me. Like, listen, slow your roll, slow your ass down, because somebody's gonna be bigger than you and gonna beat your motherfucking ass. Slow your shit. And Kara, she's just a fighter. Oh,
Yeah.
mm-mm.
She
You
have
just
to
let
let
me.
them know what's on her mind.
Yes, she's very passionate about
Yeah,
that. Very passionate. But I think we all just have to work on that.
we do.
But when we're in it, we're like, it ain't happening no more. No. I went to that girl's house. I was knocking on her door. I'm like, I know you're in there. I know you're there. And my aunt was like, Jen, just let her go. Just let her be. And I'm like, no, she's in there cooking a pie. I know it. The girl texted me and said, oh, I'm home. I'm baking a pie. I said, I'll be there in 5 minutes. I got in my car. I drove to her house. I'm banging on windows.
Oh my God.
Trying to open the door.
Thug life.
I was like, I'll be
Open the
back.
door so I can kick your ass.
I was like, I'll be back. I'll whoop your ass.
Come outside right quick so I can kick your ass.
Yeah, I was like, I told her, I said, I got nothing but time. Nothing but time.
Right.
So it's just, I get it. It's like, I don't know. It's just stupid that like, I feel like I have to be that way, but I'm just like, why are you so fucking stupid?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just shut up.
Yeah.
So,
Right. Jen, we all been there, you know. None of us is exempt. We just
well,
wanted
just like that lady who hit me at Sonic, I told you about.
uh-huh.
I chased that girl. I chased that woman through Lafayette
You told me.
with
You was
my
like, I'm
2 ass
following her
kids
right
in the
now. I'm
damn
like, oh my
car.
God.
My kids were in the car. My 5-year-old, my 10-year-old. I chased that bitch down. She barely like she tapped my car. I was like, hell no. She drove off, and went toward like we were like in the parking lot of Sonic and Five and Below and Michael, not Michael's, but Marshall's and Hobby
Yeah, yeah,
Lobby.
yeah.
And she pulled up all the way towards Fresh Time, and I was like, bitch, you are mine. And she took me down. I was following her, and she took me down Creasy through the subdivision before McCarty.
Yeah, I know what
And
you're talking
Jason's
about.
like, call 911, call 911. So I call him. I'm on dispatch. I'm telling them everywhere I'm going. And
Yeah.
then she takes me through Sam's parking lot. And then it was crazy. It was crazy. Finally, I don't know. It was like something just like talked to me and was like, Jen, you've got kids in the car like this. You don't
Yes.
know
What are you
what
doing?
taking you. Like, this isn't back of the day. I mean, this is like, you need to stop and think about the
Yeah.
safety of your children and yourself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I was talking to dispatch, and I'm like, motherfucker, this lady ain't going nowhere. And then sure enough, I had to meet the cops and everybody what was that, Gordon's? No, Gordon's. They told me they caught her. They were like, yeah, she's underage. She has no license. She has no insurance. It's not even
That's
her
why.
car. She even told that bitch even told them. She goes, I didn't even know she was chasing me. She took me
Yeah,
through the
right.
entire parking lot, swerving
Right.
me like this through Dollar General, Five Below, back through around. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
ah, ah.
Yeah,
And
she
Libby's
lying.
like, yeah, Libby's like,
Yeah.
get her. Again, oh my gosh, what am I doing, my kid? But
Yeah, I remember that day. You was like, Sheena, I am following her right now. I don't care. I don't care. I'm like, oh my gosh, Jen.
it's like, I don't even care. I don't even care. You're not like, it was so weird because even the ladies at Sonic were like, that girl just kind of hit and run. And I'm like, drive. But I mean, it's just like this fierce comes over you. Like, you're just like, no,
Yeah.
it's not okay.
Yeah. It takes
So
over. It can
it
take over.
does. It
Mm-hmm.
does. But I can say that going through about 10, 12, 13 years of therapy, out just with my own traumas and my own escalations, that now I'm I still like, oh, let me just put it this way. I had a phone call last weekend, and Kara and my Kristen, both my girls, got into a huge fight.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucked each other out. Kara goes, that's it. I'm going to leave it in mom's hands. Kristen called me crying hysterically. She's like, Mom, please don't call my job. Please don't come to my job either. Please. Just, I'm like, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about, but I'm in my pajamas and I'm making products and I'm going nowhere. Like, okay, just please don't call my job. I mean, she was like seriously crying. And so, I just told them, I said, I'm not going nowhere. I'm home. I'm in my pajamas. I'm 46 years old. Like, I'm in bed by like 11, even
Yeah.
before that. And I'm just like thinking to myself, this is the impression that I put on my kids. Like, I'm crazy or something. I don't know. But like I said, after I was in therapy 12
Yeah.
years.
Therapy helps. Crystal, you're doing therapy in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're doing therapy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good.
It's
Keeping me
helping.
out of jail and out of hell.
That's right. That's right.
Keeps me out of jail,
Mhm.
out of hell. Yep. Yep.
Yep, that's right.
Absolutely. Therapy is good. It's been frowned upon, especially in the Black communities. Like it was like, oh my gosh, you're going to therapy. But nowadays, it's becoming more of something normal,
It's
and that's
it's
good.
I don't know, like, I think it's more uncommon not to go to therapy.
Right, true.
My
It is.
family, they just, when I said I need to go to counseling, you don't need counseling. You're Black. You don't need
Right.
counseling.
What's up with
Okay.
that? Right.
Mhm.
It's like in the Black community, Jen, it's like frowned upon. What it
Yeah.
used to be anyway. It used to be very frowned upon, like you're going to therapy. Ooh,
It still kind of is though. Like they
it
feel
still
like
kind of
they
is.
get spiritual help from the pastor if it's just that serious, or that you can deal with it. You're strong. You're
Yeah.
supposed to
The
be able to
only
deal
thing
with anything.
the only
Hmm.
thing that I don't like about therapy, and I have to get back in it because my doctor thinks it would be best for me, but, um, is when you're starting over with a new therapist and you have to, like, re-talk, and
Oh,
then you go through, like, anxiety, and because I have post-traumatic stress disorder, and you go through the anxiety, and then you go through and then anxiety has subconscious memory, so it may not hit you that day, but
right.
for me, it hits me sometimes that day or even, like, 1 to 2 days after.
That's good to know because I have the same stuff that I be
Yeah,
dealing with.
right.
Yeah,
Krista, you be telling me that too.
mhm.
And that's what it
Yeah,
is. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Because the okay, so when you start feeling like the anxiety, right, and then you cry a lot and stuff, that is good. It's a result from the therapy because
mhm,
it's a release that's
yeah,
happening. You're healing, and
right. It
it
does
looks
get
like
better,
it
and it
looks
So
does
I
like
get
don't cry when
healing.
easier.
I
I
have
would
anxiety attacks. Sometimes I just can't breathe. So it's
yeah,
like I'm gonna
Yeah.
pass out, fall over.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Sometimes
It feels
no
like
Mine's
tears
that
so
ever
too.
bad
happen.
mine's so bad that my
Mhm.
doctor um, tells me that whenever I'm at a stoplight, take a deep breath because I hold my breath and I don't realize it till I feel
Me
like I'm gonna
too.
pass out.
Turning blue and purple.
Yeah. So he's like, at every stop sign, I just want you to take a deep breath. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay. And then I didn't realize I was actually doing it until I was like, okay, okay, I need to breathe, obviously to live, right? Um, but I think within like the 1 to 2 weeks of actually getting in it,
Mhm.
it gets better. It really
Yeah.
does. It's just that initial first 2 weeks for me anyway.
Yeah.
Um, and even today when I talk about things that are traumatizing, um, I still have the heaviness of the chest or the feeling like somebody's choking me out or um, sweating of the hands. It,
Yeah.
it's just the therapy is good.
It affects your nervous system.
Yeah, I'll play with my hair
Mm-hmm.
or
Oh, yeah.
one time I had a headache or migraine and I took Excedrin and
Mm-hmm.
it was way too much and I ended up in the ER and was anxiety and I just kept scratching my neck like this. I just was freaking the fuck out, and my girlfriend took me to the ER, and Jason was on his way, and this lady comes up to me, and she goes, "I just have to ask you, did somebody hurt you?" And I go, "Get the fuck away from me!" And then they were like, "We're trying to get a bed for you." I go, "I don't even care if it's dirty sheets. I don't even care if it's just the plastic mattress. Just give me a fucking bed." Like, I was just like, "Oh,
Yes.
what happened?" So then the doctor comes in and she goes, I think you overdosed on caffeine.
What?
I took too many milligrams of caffeine, and it was
Oh
just
my God.
because I have anxiety anyway, and then when you bring on caffeine on top of anxiety,
Oh, your
then it
heart
makes
and
it
it,
worse,
yeah.
and then you're like breaking out, and then I was just scratching myself like this to just calming myself down, which I understand why people cut because it's like takes away of what's actually going on. Not
Ah,
that I've ever done that. My girls, well, that's another story, but
that's
I
another
used to
story.
I used to just do this, and then she's like,
Mm-hmm.
"What is that?" I was like, "Lady, get the fuck away from me." And then they gave me Adderall. They gave me 2 things of Adderall, and, the next thing Jason took videos of me, I was playing with a bounce sheet, and I was going beep, 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 beep. It was really weird. The next day I woke up, he goes, "We have to go downstairs to go to bed. It's time to go to bed." I go, "I can't. This basement is scary." Like, I don't even remember none of this shit. None of it. My girlfriend told me that when I had to walk in the house, she goes, "It took me 25 minutes to walk in the house, and my car to my front door was, like, 15, 16 feet away."
Oh, goodness.
It was crazy, but it was just, like yeah, it was just crazy with the anxiety and everything, and who the fuck overdoses on caffeine?
Right. I've never
I
heard of
didn't
it.
know that it make your anxiety attacks worse.
It
Cause I
does.
love tea. I'll drink the mess out of it.
I love tea. I actually have my
Me too.
tea
I love
here.
tea.
I love
We all
tea.
love tea. We should all go for tea
Um
one day.
But I do love tea. There's certain teas that will make me jittery, but I have
Yeah.
to really or even coffee will make you jittery.
Mm-hmm.
You've gotta be careful, but yeah, they tell you if you have anxiety, panic, attacks, post-traumatic stress disorder, to just kinda stay clear of caffeine.
And my phone is about to
Yeah.
die, so
Oh yeah.
I'm
I
not
saw your
trying to cut you
message.
guys out.
Yep. We're
But
about to close it anyway because we've
Yeah,
been going for almost 2 hours
well,
now.
can I show you guys my products
yeah,
before we go?
yes, yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. Please.
Okay, so like I was saying, every knockdown made me do something better with my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I became a life coach. I still write and sell my books. I have 9, but the only one that is published right now is Journey My Story, God's Glory.
Mm-hmm.
I have a skincare line called Love Jones, and it's a skincare and hair all natural line. I
Mm-hmm.
have the Grow Crazy oil and the hair cream
Mm-hmm.
to make your hair grow crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I also have like body scrubs, bath salts and candles, bath bombs, soap, eucalyptus aloe soap, charcoal aloe soap, black soap. This is the black soap. These are made with the CBD oil. It
Mm-hmm.
is the body butter, the bath salt, and the body scrub.
Okay.
I have
And that
men,
comes like a as a kit.
yes.
Okay.
And I have the man grooming set with the soap, the balm, the wash, and the beard oil.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also have Terra Health and Body by Aura. Body by Aura shows the shapewear that we have. And the Terra Health is about a healthy lifestyle, healthy eating, healthy living, exercising. So it goes with the Body by Aura because you can exercise in the Body by Aura. But I make smoothies, I make sea moss lemonades, and I also make vegan dishes now. And I'm gonna come out with a vegan cookbook really soon before May. And
Awesome. That's gonna be beneficial for Lafayette listeners because they can get it right here in Lafayette. The food.
I'll send it to
Yeah.
anywhere.
Oh,
I'm
really? You can ship the
yes,
food? Oh, oh,
yes. Oh,
okay.
not the food. Well, I can freeze
No,
them
the
and ship
food. I was only
them.
talking about the food, not the
Oh, okay.
skincare. Yeah. The
Oh,
skincare you can ship anywhere.
and I have the gummies, so you can be
Mm-hmm.
healthy. I have the
Yeah.
elderberry gummies, and I have the sea moss gummies. I have apple cider vinegar gummies. I have the turmeric gummies. I have black seed oil gummies and hair and nail gummies.
Oh, I need some of the black seed oil.
Okay.
Yes, I definitely need black seed oil.
Ah,
Black seed oil is
that's
good.
not all I have though. Hold on. I just forgot. I also have the detox tea, and it'll take
Ah.
away all the parasites out of your stool and out of your body. Because
Mm-hmm.
you know we all have parasites from eating meat.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, awesome. Crystal, is your website up and running?
I will send you the link.
Okay,
And
okay.
then you
So
can post it.
yes, because when I post the video on YouTube, I'm gonna post the link to your website underneath it.
Okay.
And your also your Instagram and your TikTok and your Facebook.
Okay, so I'll make a LinkedIn and I'll send it to you so that they could
Yes.
find
Oh,
everything.
that'd be great. Is it Linktree? Linktree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Linktree.
Linktree. Yep. Awesome.
Y'all gonna be linked. Wink, wink.
It was so nice to have you, Crystal. We've been anticipating this podcast for a little while, and it's so nice to finally have this podcast with you. You're such a beautiful soul, and I know Jen did too, but I enjoyed you today and sharing your story with us. It's so inspiring, and I know the listeners are going to receive something from it, especially those who've been through the same or similar things. And just may God continue to bless you abundantly and keep your head up and stay strong and keep going. Don't ever quit. Okay.
Thank you. And it was a pleasure to talk to you guys. Meet you, Jen.
Jen.
And wow, like it was an awesome conversation and interview. And I pray that God continue to bless you guys as well. And just anything that you guys need or want, that he just give y'all an overflow of abundance, and he protect y'all families, and that y'all vehicles be running right, and he, bind up the accidents, and that y'all homes be right, just him to bless you a bun and over and I just don't even know the word.
You're
Bless
just
your
so
socks
sweet.
off. Bless
You're
their
a
socks
sweetheart.
off, Lord. Bless their
socks.
You have the
Yes,
spirit. Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Well, Jen, do you have anything else you want to say?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Awesome. Wonderful.
Awesome. So,
Yeah.
So next week we'll be posting this podcast next week, so the world can hear what we had to say today. All right. Well, guys, it was awesome. Have a good evening. I love you guys, and thank you guys for listening to us. And have a blessed evening.
Sending air hugs for everyone.
Oh, come, Jeremiah. Say it.
Goodbye, Mommy.
Oh,
Bye, baby.
My God,
Send you an air hug.
Yes. Oh. Okay. All right. Good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.